This is Eyewitness News on LA56 with live breaking news.
Breaking news, a man believed to be armed has barricaded himself in a home in Woodland Hills. We have the latest.
Extreme heat hits Southern California. See how people are trying to stay cool, plus when the temperatures will drop.
And a couple is found living in their car while they're dealing with ALS. Watch as a local group steps up to help. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. We begin with that breaking news. A man is believed to be armed. He has barricaded himself in a home in Woodland Hills. The active scene is on Cape Myrtle Court in Woodland Hills between Oxnard and Irwin Streets. Police say shots have been fired, but no one has been hit. This video was sent to us by Eyewitness News viewer David Keller. He says helicopters have been circling the area. A SWAT team has been dispatched to the scene. These pictures were sent in by Michael Sable using the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness, and you can see officers surrounding the scene. Remember, you can send in your own pictures anytime using the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness. We'll continue to follow this breaking story and bring you any updates as the information becomes available.
Now to our other big story tonight. It's been a toasty weekend across Southern California so far, with temperatures reaching the 90s in many spots. Beaches were packed with people doing anything they could to keep cool. Let's check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Novak, who's in for Danny Romero, for a look at how long we can expect these summer-like temperatures to last.
A little while longer, Jory. If you can maintain for a couple more days, you've got numbers like this still ahead for the rest of the weekend. Today's highs, records. Newport Beach hit 85, Santa Ana hit 94. So did Long Beach. Camarillo hit 92, and Santa Maria again today, breaking a record. Your high today was 95. It was 93 in downtown. Right now we have cooled down to 82, cooled down, if you will. And then we head over to Long Beach. It's still 83 there in Long Beach. And we head to the valley. It's still 86 degrees. A very warm evening ahead. Look at this. Santa Clarita's at 92 still. And we're at 88 in Palm Springs, 85 in Ojai. It is a very toasty forecast for the latter half of the weekend. It will start cooling down going into the work week. I will tell you when and how steep those temperatures will drop. The clouds are back in that 7-day. I'll tell you about that coming up in a few minutes.
Jonathan, thank you. It was a perfect day to be outside, as Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell shows us. Scores of folks hit the local parks and beaches to bask in the sunshine.
Hot food on the grill, cold drinks in the cooler. Families are spending the day outdoors, enjoying picnics at Lake Balboa in 90-degree heat.
The calendar says March. What does this weather say?
Summer.
Hot. Very hot.
It's hot. I think if it gets hotter, I might have to shave my hair or something. Yeah.
A little soon for all this?
Yeah. It's not even summer yet. It's still spring, right? So it's too hot for spring right now.
Temperatures are soaring to record levels across Southern California this weekend. Hundreds of thousands of people are spending time at the beach, bringing their surfboards along to enjoy the summer-like weather. Many got their workouts in early to avoid scorching afternoon heat. Others decided this was not a day for vigorous outdoor sports.
We went to soccer fields to practice some soccer, and then it was really hot, so we thought it would be nicer if we came over here and had like ice cream and hung out and stuff.
Oh, it was rough. I think we only stayed there for about an hour, and we had to go. We just got too dehydrated.
At the lake, many camped out under shady trees. Some say it's a little early for this extreme heat, but others aren't complaining.
I just came here recently in June, so this is I'm still my virgin kind of period in LA, so I love it here. It's beautiful.
Again, officials say avoid strenuous activities in this hot weather, and here at the lake, many people are taking that advice and just relaxing. At Lake Balboa, Amy Powell, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Amy, thank you. Some folks will not be able to relax. Runners will have to beat the heat at tomorrow's LA Marathon because of the forecast. The start time has been moved up by half an hour. It'll start at 6:55 a.m. Here's a look at the route. Street parking bans and road closures begin as early as 3 o'clock in the morning. Only 4 major north-south routes will be open tomorrow morning. And runners will have access to ice, cold towels, and misting stations along the route, even cooling buses along the way. Runners are being told to monitor themselves for signs of distress. And you can use the free ABC7 Megadoppler weather app to get the latest temperatures where you are. Download it from the iTunes App Store or Google Play. Search one word, Megadoppler.
We're learning more about the kidnapping suspect injured in a shootout with sheriff deputies in South LA. Deputies released his name today, Hector Javier Puga. He remains in the hospital in fair condition. The 26-year-old led police on a wild pursuit yesterday before stopping his SUV on West 43rd Street. He was shot in an exchange of gunfire and stumbled onto the front porch of a nearby home where he sat for nearly an hour before finally surrendering. Puga is suspected of forcing his wife into a vehicle at gunpoint in Paramount. She was able to escape after he stopped at her mother's house so she could use the restroom.
In San Bernardino, several families have been forced from their homes and 10 vehicles were destroyed in a suspicious fire overnight. It broke out shortly before 1 a.m. in the carport of a home on Eureka Avenue. It then spread to an adjacent carport before making its way to 2 apartments, displacing the families that lived inside. Firefighters who were able to knock down the flames within 20 minutes deemed the fire suspicious and are now treating it as an arson. Thankfully, no one was injured. In Victorville, firefighters rushed to rescue 5 puppies trapped inside a house that was on fire. San Bernardino County Fire provided these photographs of the rescue. They searched the home for any potential human victims. There were none and were able to safely rescue 4 of the 5 puppies inside. 1 puppy did not make it. The cause of the fire now under investigation. There were no smoke detectors inside the home.
A toddler was rushed to the hospital in critical condition after being bitten by a snake, possibly a rattlesnake, in Murrieta. The little boy was with family members who were hiking near Benton Road and Warren Road. Riverside County Fire says it was reported to be a rattlesnake, but has not confirmed that. The toddler was airlifted to County Regional Medical Center, again in critical but stable condition.
The search continues for a San Bernardino student nearly a week after she went missing. Hundreds gathered on the campus of the Art Institute in San Bernardino last night, hoping for the safe return of Saray Barber. The 22-year-old was last seen on Monday leaving her apartment complex, which is near the school's campus. Barber's family was on hand last night. They say they wanted the event to be less of a vigil and more of a celebration of her life.
I can't think of another day in my life that was worse than this past Monday. But I don't want this to be a gathering of sorrow or depression. As hard as it is, I want all to continue to pray and maintain positive thoughts.
Detectives say they are following several leads at this point, but so far there has been no sign of that 22-year-old student.
A local couple desperately in need is finally getting some help. They've been living in their car, struggling to survive. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter tells us about the mission of mercy to better their lives.
Life's going to change for you right now, okay?
A gift of kindness for a couple facing an uncertain future.
Once you get to this point, it's like 5 times as hard to get up. And it's miserable.
Terry Ressler and Cece Brown have been living in their car for the last 5 years. Cece, who has ALS and epilepsy, has lost the ability to speak and eat. Terry is her constant caregiver.
Her hospital bed is a Ford Taurus. That's what it is. You have who I think is a hero, and that's her husband. He takes care of her. He feeds her a laundry list of medications to keep her comfortable.
Joe Layell and his team from the Vet Hunters Project found Terry and Cece in their car last night in Covina as they were on the hunt for homeless veterans, and they knew they couldn't turn their backs.
We're finding veterans, but we're finding also a senior population, disabled population. Some of them are paralyzed, and that's unacceptable.
The group is putting the couple up in a hotel while they search for permanent housing and hospice care. Terry says they couldn't go to a shelter because they can't stay together.
I promised I'd never leave her, ever. And I won't.
For Cece, there are no words, but a hug and a kiss say it all. To learn more about the Vet Hunters and how you can help, log on to our website, ABC7.com. Terry and Cece say they're just grateful to finally get the help they so desperately need.
I think they're fantastic. I think they're beyond fantastic. I think they're angels. I think they're angels.
In Covina, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
What a story. 10 Americans will return from West Africa to be monitored after possibly being exposed to Ebola. So far, none have fallen ill, but out of precaution, they will follow the CDC's recommended monitoring and movement guidelines. That includes direct, active monitoring and, as appropriate, voluntary self-isolation during the possible 21-day incubation period. Earlier this week, an American healthcare worker who contracted Ebola while volunteering in Sierra Leone was brought to Maryland for treatment.
New evidence today suggests Islamic State militants in Iraq used chlorine gas as a chemical weapon against opposition forces. This comes from Kurdish authorities in Iraq who say samples from a suicide truck bomb attack in January tested positive for chlorine. A spokesperson for the White House says the Obama administration is aware of the report but has not independently confirmed the results. Meantime, as many as 30,000 men continue to fight the extremists in Tikrit, making progress in their goal to regain control of the city within the next few days.
Secretary of State John Kerry is being very cautious about the next round of nuclear talks with Iran. Kerry spoke today while in the city of Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt for an economic conference, and he says he is not sure whether an agreement will be reached with Iran before the March 31st deadline because there are still what he calls important gaps standing in the way of a deal.
We continue to be focused on reaching the right deal, a deal that would protect the world, including the United States, and our closest allies and partners from the threat that a nuclear-armed Iran could pose. We still don't know whether or not we will get there.
Kerry next heads to Switzerland tomorrow for those nuclear talks.
We're getting new images of the devastation from a massive cyclone in the South Pacific. We'll show you the impact.
And officials are keeping a close eye on a volcano in Costa Rica. More of this stunning video.
Plus, ready to take a ride in a lap of luxury? We'll take you inside a new Mercedes that will have you feeling like royalty. New images of the devastation from a massive cyclone in the South Pacific. Power and communication are still mostly gone after Cyclone Pam made a direct hit on the island nation of Vanuatu. As ABC's Jeffrey Kaufman reports, some say it looks like a bomb went off.
It is one of the strongest storms seen in the Pacific in years, and it has caused mass destruction to the remote island nation of Vanuatu. Cyclone Pam is the equivalent of a Category 5 hurricane, with winds peaking at 168 miles an hour, about the same as Hurricane Katrina. The capital's streets are now littered with roofs blown from homes, uprooted trees, and down power lines. UNICEF's Alice Clement spoke from a storm shelter.
I'm just holding on for dear life here. This isn't fun. And all I can do is think about people in Vanuatu who have absolutely no shelter. This is going to be a horrific humanitarian disaster.
Initial reports indicate significant damage and dozens of deaths in Vanuatu's northern provinces. Jeffrey Kaufman, ABC News, London.
In Costa Rica, officials are keeping a close eye on a volcano about 40 miles outside the capital of San Jose. This is time-lapse video of the Turrialba volcano yesterday as it spewed thick plumes of smoke and ash high into the air. Those eruptions led to the government to shut down schools and the country's main airport. The airport has since reopened as the volcano settled down, but emergency crews remain in place just in case it erupts again.
And turning to our local weather, a pretty extreme heat wave we've got going on.
We've got more to go.
Yeah.
I mean, a day, 2 days, okay. 4 days or so. I mean, this is absurd.
So almost a week. Wow.
Yeah, and you know, it's winter. It's winter.
It is?
Yeah. So
for another week.
For another week or so, yeah. It's unbelievable. Temperatures today, more records broken today than yesterday. I saw a 98 in Anaheim. Take that in. All right, let's check it out. Live Mega Doppler 7000 HD forecast right now. Let's get to it. Malibu, see the high clouds out there in our time lapse as the sun is on its way down. No, they didn't cool us down or keep the temperatures hampered at all, really. No, it was a hot one. We're looking at record temperatures. Another page, 2 pages I've got for you right here. We already looked at 5 other ones. Oceanside, 92. Fullerton hit 96. Oxnard was at 91. Check out another page here. 94 was the record in Long Beach. Santa Barbara hit 82. 92. I got UCLA twice there, actually. That's a repeat there for you. But downtown Los Angeles was 93. That was a record. Everybody, for the most part, you're more likely to see a record broken today than not. Still 76 at the airport. 86 in Burbank. Very warm tonight. Very, very warm. 84 in Van Nuys. Palm Springs dipping down just below 90 degrees. And 76 in Santa Monica. All right, so this is about a 5 to 10 degree jump from this time last night. Believe it or not, we are that much warmer right now than it was this time last night in some spots like Burbank and Oxnard and Long Beach. And we have more to go. We have tomorrow and Monday, in fact, before things start changing. You see this arc in the clouds right here? This is that ridge of high pressure. All the rain, moisture, instability, anything is to the north of us, being kept to the north. We are seeing some of that high cloud cover make its way in as that high basically keeps anything else at bay. And we'll have more of the high cloud cover tomorrow. But then things start changing late Monday into Tuesday. You see it right here in the future scan. This is Monday. And then 10 p.m. I stop it. You see this big arc right here. That's that ridge of high pressure. But on the west side of it, a little energy starting to develop. We've got a trough that's going to dig in just a bit on Tuesday. And by Wednesday and Thursday, we start seeing a nice onshore flow. That's going to bring the clouds back in. It's going to bring the temperatures down. No real rain chances. We might see some morning fog that can put a little dampening on your car in the morning. But that's about it. So for tomorrow, that's what you got right there, lower to mid-90s. Once again, tomorrow is going to be very much like today, a hot one. You've got the marathon, any outdoor activities. Really try to keep any activities outdoors to the morning time, the early morning time, the early evening time. The hottest hours are basically between noon and 4, so try to not do anything strenuous then. 87 on Monday. We're finally into the 70s again for St. Patrick's Day. That's closer to average, and by Wednesday we're at average. Valley's IE, 92 tomorrow, 88 Monday, hot, and then finally cooling down on Tuesday. Beach weather tomorrow and Monday, finally cooling down on Tuesday, back into the 60s for you on Wednesday. Let's check out the mountains real quick here. You got some temperatures in the 60s for a couple of days, very mild. A few clouds from Tuesday on and a few clouds in the high desert as well for the next 7 days. 84 for Sunday and Monday, and then back into the 70s Wednesday on. Guys, it is hot. Oh, you got the Irish. You got the Jory likes that. What's he doing?
What is he doing?
I thought Jory's trying to dance like the little guy there.
He's just kicking one leg, right?
I can't do it. I don't even want. That's the big set of my
dance.
Try,
Jonathan.
No, that was it. I just tried. That was
as much as we're going to get.
Dancing.
Thanks, Jonathan. Gas prices are coming down once again. They are 2 cents cheaper today and have dropped for the last 9 days straight. According to AAA in the LA and Long Beach area, you'll pay an average of $3.45 for a gallon of self-serve regular gas. It is a penny less in Ventura at $3.44 a gallon. Today's average price in Orange County and the Inland Empire is $3.43. Still, the prices are much higher than they were a month ago, but AAA says a drop in wholesale costs could mean the average pump price will again dip beneath the $3 a gallon mark.
Looking forward to it. Hey, are you ready to ride in the lap of luxury? Are you?
I am.
I am too. Well, the new Mercedes Maybach or Maybach is more than just a stretch sedan. Its rear seat is like riding inside a luxury business jet. Car specialist Dave Coons gives us a look at the car designed to compete with Bentley and Rolls-Royce.
The Mercedes-Benz S-Class has been the pinnacle of the company's sedan lineup for years, or at least it was until this year. Now it gets pushed aside just a bit for the new Mercedes Maybach. If that name sounds familiar, it's because there was another Maybach offered from 2003 until 2012. Built by Mercedes, but as a standalone brand with a dedicated design. And with a staggering price tag of well over $300,000, the worldwide recession did the already slow-selling car in. This time, Mercedes is offering the Maybach in a different way. It's an S-Class, but longer and more packed with luxury. Note the wheelbase. There's an extra 8 inches, which translates into a huge limousine-like rear seat area. Big, comfy lounge chairs for 2. The regular S550 will actually hold more people, but not in such style and comfort. Under the hood, a large engine to help propel the large sedan, 12 cylinders, smooth as silk, and plenty of power to let the mighty Maybach scoot along just fine. This car is top of the line, from top to bottom. Of course, it also has a top-of-the-line sticker price of $189,000. But it's meant to go head-to-head with the likes of Bentley and Rolls-Royce, not exactly bargain models themselves.
The Mercedes-Benz S-Class has always been a really good driver's car, especially given its size and weight. Well, since the Maybach is just an S-Class with more room inside and a lot more features, it drives a lot like an S-Class, which is to say very well. But in this grandest S-Class of all, the rear seat is the place to be. No luxury has been spared.
Those super plush seats, they'll give you a massage with heat. You control that along with other things from a video screen and a remote. And there's even a wine chiller behind the armrest. But of course, the only question is, who is this car for? If you buy one, it's not any better than driving a non-Maybach S-Class. So those passenger seats would be for others. Or perhaps you'd need to hire a driver, because the best seats in the house, so to speak, aren't in the front of the Maybach, they're the ones in the rear. Dave Coons, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Tell you what.
$189,000.
Yeah, we'll split it. You drive, I get to ride and back.
That's
Sound
the
good?
deal. You pay, I'll drive. I'm good with that. Ahead on Eyewitness News, it's a record one man probably isn't too proud of.
That's right. He took the title of most phones attempted to be smuggled into a country. It's an unofficial record at this point. The judges are still determining. We'll tell you just how many he was hiding.
And 3 young boys are lucky to be alive after jumping out of a burning building. The boys talk about the terrifying experience right after the break.
This story's cracking me up already. In China, a man has set a new record for the largest number of iPhones attempted to be smuggled into the Chinese mainland. This guy had 146 devices strapped to his body. Where can you fit 146 phones?
Wow.
The man was caught at a border checkpoint earlier this month when his entire body rang at once. No, that didn't happen. Authorities say he was planning to sell the phones for a profit. Customs officers say they noticed the man because he was walking suspiciously, carrying a small bag on his shoulder.
In Central California, 3 young boys are safe after jumping out of a burning building. The fire broke out at this apartment complex in Santa Maria. Trapped by the flames, 3 boys, all under the age of 9, were forced to jump off the balcony. Santa Maria police officers stood below to catch them, but had trouble convincing the oldest to take the leap.
Yeah, he was so scared he didn't even wanted to jump. He didn't even do like this. He was just holding on. I was too scared to fall down. What if no one was there to rescue? Then I'd be flat as a flapjack.
All of the boys were fine, as you can see there. Firefighters say 9 units were damaged by the flames.
And
that's scary. Look at any age.
He's not flat as a flapjack.
No, he's not. He survived.
I don't know if I could let go to a second
I wouldn't
story
want to
balcony.
jump out.
Yeah, well, a woman celebrates her 100th birthday by taking to the skies.
She went skydiving. Georgina Harwood's birthday was Tuesday. Today, she celebrated by taking the plunge over Cape Town, South Africa, jumping out of an airplane in a tandem skydive. The great-grandmother says it was great, and she enjoyed watching all that was going on below her on the ground. It was Harwood's 3rd skydive.
She is great. Happy 100th birthday. How
Amazing.
amazing is that?
Amazing.
So amazing. Well, we are updating our top stories at 7:30, including the latest on a barricade situation in Woodland Hills.
And police need your help identifying a man who tried to sexually assault 2 girls in Ontario on 2 separate occasions.
Plus, positive news to report on the California measles outbreak. Find out what health leaders are saying about the current number of cases.
And 2 mid-air scares caused emergency landings across the country. We'll tell you what happened and show you dramatic passenger reaction.
This is Eyewitness News on LA56 with live breaking news.
Our top story at 7:30, an update on that breaking news out of Woodland Hills, where a man believed to be armed has barricaded himself inside a home. I'm Giovanna Lotta.
I'm Jory Rand. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7:30 p.m. The active scene is on Cape Myrtle Court in Woodland Hills between Oxnard and Irwin Streets. Police there say shots have been fired, but no one was hit. This video was sent to us by Eyewitness News viewer David Keller. He says helicopters have been circling the area for a while. A SWAT team has been dispatched to the scene.
Southern California is dealing with record-breaking heat. It's still winter, but it sure feels like summer outside, with many areas reaching the 90s. The heat brought thousands to the beach today. A slight cool down could be on the way. Let's check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Novak for a complete look at the forecast. Jonathan.
Sorry, I'm just thinking like cool down. We have a slight cool down, but even when we have the cool down, it's still going to be so hot. It's just absurd. Laguna Beach, hey, in the meantime, listen, silver lining here is it's great beach weather. Ah, that would have been nice. That was a good idea. I just thought of that. The almanac shows we hit a high today in downtown LA of 93, 23 degrees above the average of 70. That is a record. That is one of many that were hit today or broken. 93, some other temperatures, by the way, that were not records, but still very hot. Redondo Beach, 95. Anaheim, I saw 98. Wow. I've got more records ahead coming up as well. But for now, let's get you out the door if you're going to be heading out tonight. It is going to be warm. T-shirt weather abound. 89 Santa Clarita, by the way. 78 in Oxnard. A warm evening tonight. Hot weather tomorrow. I'll tell you when it cools off in that 7-day forecast coming up.
Thank you, Jonathan. The search is on for a man who tried to sexually assault 2 girls in Ontario on 2 separate occasions. Ontario police say the suspect seen in this sketch parked his newer model blue 2-door Honda Civic near Ray Wiltsey Junior High School yesterday. Authorities say he approached a girl and asked her to perform a sexual act. The girl got away. Later, a suspect matching the same description was seen parked near Valley View High School. Police say the suspect approached a girl from behind and tried to sexually attack her. She was also able to get away. Police believe there may be more victims.
Los Angeles police are still looking for 4 more Venice high school students believed to be part of a group suspected of sexually assaulting 2 underage girls. 9 students were arrested yesterday. A 10th turned himself in, and police say they have been questioned and released. All of the suspects are between the ages of 14 and 17, and the alleged crimes date back more than a year. Students we spoke with say before the arrests were made, videos and photos of the alleged assaults were posted on social media. Police, however, have not confirmed that fact.
A man who claimed to be a witness to the Ezell Ford shooting has been shot and killed. The shooting happened in South Los Angeles just before midnight. The LAPD says Leroy Hill was driving when 2 suspects approached him, claimed they belonged to a certain gang, and then shot Hill in the chest. The LAPD believes Hill was also affiliated with a gang. Hill's wife, Alice, tells us he was a witness to the controversial police shooting of Ezell Ford last year. Police have not confirmed that. So far, no arrests have been made.
Promising news on the measles outbreak. It appears now to have peaked. Since the end of last month, only 3 new cases have been reported in the state. The latest was in Ventura County, bringing the total number of cases there to 13. LA County had 33 cases, Orange County had 35, Riverside had 8. Of the 133 California cases, 40 were traced back to people who worked at or visited Disneyland back in December.
The car stolen from the valet at a restaurant in Newport Beach is finally back with its owners. Officers say the Mazda was found yesterday in an underground parking lot near several businesses in Costa Mesa. Jody Abadi and her boyfriend say the car went missing last night from the valet at Joe's Crab Shack. The attendants told Abadi someone else claiming to be her boyfriend asked for the keys and drove away. Police say there's no damage to the car.
2 mid-air scares tonight. One, a blown-out tire on a United Airlines flight triggers an emergency landing as terrified passengers told to brace for a rocky touchdown. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has a reaction from inside the plane.
A tense emergency landing in Chicago. GoJet Flight 3645 from Grand Rapids touching down at O'Hare without its front landing gear. The second close call of its kind today. 900 miles away, passengers bracing for a dramatic and dangerous landing in Denver. The scare caused by this, a tire on United Airlines Flight 4870's landing gear blowing this morning during takeoff.
At tower, Brickyard 4870, declared emergency. Believe the blew an engine, or blew a tire on departure.
Instead of heading to Kansas City, the plane circles the Denver airport for more than half an hour, burning off fuel, with passengers nervously keeping their eyes on the windows, watching that shredded tire. Finally, at 10:55 a.m., passengers get in position for that unsteady impact with the tarmac. A rough landing, but a lot of relief.
It was kind of scary. On impact, it was pretty noisy. The plane shook a little bit, but the pilot did a great job keeping everything going straight.
No one was hurt on either plane. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
In Myanmar, the frantic search is on for survivors after a ferry capsizes. The crowded ferry was slammed by huge waves in the northwestern part of the state. At least 34 people were killed and more than a dozen are still missing. Rescuers pulled nearly 170 people from the water to safety. The ferry was carrying more than 200 people when it was hit by rough seas last night.
In Florida, crews are working to lift the wreckage of that Black Hawk helicopter days after it crashed into the water, killing all 11 service members on board. The main rotor section with its 4 massive blades snapped off. That was the first thing to be pulled out of the water. The crash happened early Tuesday morning during a nighttime training exercise. The Marine Corps now says the team tried to abort the mission after determining it was too risky, but for some reason it did not. The exact cause of the crash remains under investigation.
Today is Pie Day, and while it's supposed to be all about the number, many restaurants are taking advantage.
Makes sense. That includes a local pizza place that's proving to be very popular today. We'll give you a look at the pies.
Plus, drones are now so popular, there's an International Drone Day. We'll show you how the day is being celebrated.
Today is Pi Day. Not the kind of pie you eat, but the number 3, 14, 15, the mathematical pi, 3.1415. And to celebrate, Blaze Fast-Fired Pizza is inviting customers at all 58 of its locations to create their own pizza pie for $3.14. We caught up with some customers at the Pasadena restaurant where people were taking advantage of the offer and building their own pizza pies.
That's a good deal. Today, hundreds of students got a first-hand look at what it's like to work in the media at the College of the Canyons in Valencia. It was all part of the 2015 Media Day, which featured seminars by more than 30 industry professionals. Our very own George Pinocchio, Philip Palmer, and Leanne Suter were there sharing their own experiences and advice. Aside from news, students were able to attend presentations about filmmaking, animation, PR, and even sound design.
It's a fun career. If you are into drones, and I know that you are, Los Alamitos was the place to be today. In fact, this is International Drone Day, with events around the world, including this one, a sort of drone-a-palooza with demos, exhibits, vendors, and more. There were even tours of the Build It Workspace facility, which provides some of the tools needed to build small drones, or unmanned aerial vehicles, as they're sometimes called.
We're one of 115 teams in 40 different countries that are putting on events to make people aware of what's happening in the drone world. We want them to understand that drones are good. We want them to understand that drones are going to be useful in jobs that are dull, dirty, or dangerous.
There were also drone events in Venice and Lake Balboa today.
Ahead on Eyewitness News, an update on your weekend forecast.
There's a live look outside at Long Beach right now. People packed the beaches earlier today, but will the warm-up continue? Jonathan Novak is standing by with the answer.
Plus, March Madness is upon us. An exciting end in one conference championship game. Highlights coming up.
But first, do you have a question for Mayor Eric Garcetti? He'll be our guest on an upcoming edition of Eyewitness Newsmakers. You can submit your question at abc7.com/newsmakers, and he could answer it on the show.
It was the blessing of the shoes today at the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels in downtown LA. Tomorrow, of course, is the LA Marathon, and all runners were invited to bring their shoes and have them blessed. A few of them probably thought about asking the priest to say a prayer for some cooler weather tomorrow, too, although I don't know if that would help.
Yeah, they're going to need some cool temperatures, something to help them out, because it is going to be...
Apparently they need to pour water on their neck.
They bumped up the start time, so around 6:55 a.m. Is it going to be...
It's going to be okay.
I mean, how long are they going to have before things get really bad?
What's really bad? Like 80s is late morning.
Yeah.
You gotta, if you're fast, you're good.
By 10, it's going to be bad.
Right. Either go really fast or really slow.
Yeah, like really just walk and you're fine. I've got a couple of images here. We've got some high temperatures. Got a lot to talk about. First, I didn't get my pie a day thing in, so I wanted to. That's
cool.
It's a little thing I put together there.
What kind of cloud would you call that?
That's a Pimatis cloud.
Okay.
Pimatis.
Something.
Bernie Guzman, look at this. Bernie Guzman sent this in. He put his rolls in the windshield of his car, and it rose. They rose in 30 minutes. And what would have taken, he said, normally a few hours to make that happen. And then he cooked them inside. So thank you for sending that in. Wow, it was hot today. 90 at LAX, record. Long Beach was 94, record. So was UCLA, Santa Barbara, downtown, all hitting records. 93 in downtown, by the way. 84 in Van Nuys right now. A very warm evening everywhere in Southern California. 86 Burbank, 83 Temecula, and 88 in Palm Springs. How about that? High pressure is our weather maker. This arc right here in the clouds, this is the high pressure centered here, keeping all that moisture at bay, except for some of the high clouds we saw today that are managing to make their way over to Southern California. That's what we call a dirty ridge of high pressure, where we see still some of those clouds managing to ride up over into our area. But again, the rain is nowhere near us, and it's not going to be anytime in the near future, in fact, in this whole 7-day. The future scan shows the atmospheric patterns, and you'll see here going in through Monday at 10 p.m. I stop it there because we still have that high pressure ridge over us, but it's shifted to the east, and on the west side of it, on Tuesday, we'll start seeing a trough of low pressure develop right here. That's going to bring that onshore flow into play, and that's going to mean cooling temperatures, clouds in the area. Nice. Back to average by Wednesday or Thursday. It looks really good heading into that portion of the forecast. But for tomorrow, another hot day, lower 90s for many of us, mid to upper 80s at the coast. I mean, just hot. That's it. Repeat heat. That's what I call it for Sunday. 87 on Monday is another hot day. And then there's Jory's friend on Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, doing his dance, 76 on St. Patrick's Day. We're back closer to average that day. Wednesday in the Valley's 90 forecast, that's when you get back to average. Until then, it's very warm. In fact, I call tomorrow hot, 92 to 95, 88 Monday. That's hot. Warm on Tuesday, and finally some clouds into the area. No rain, though. The beaches might see some fog from Tuesday on, so morning fog may be thick enough, hopefully, here by Wednesday, Thursday, that we get a little bit of get the cars wet, a little drizzle there. The mountains are going to stay dry. A few clouds here and there. Temperatures around 60 for the next couple of days into the 50s on Tuesday. And the high desert, just warm. 84, beautiful stuff. If we weren't in winter, I'd say it was okay. But, it's dry, it's hot, and it's still March.
All right, Jonathan.
March Madness.
Thanks for being here. Yeah. Well, firefighters are putting on boxing gloves for a good cause. Today, they were hitting the bag in Pasadena to raise money to support a 2-year-old boy fighting cancer. Dylan Wolf is battling brain cancer, and the tumors affect his vision. He's legally blind, and they also affect his mood. But his mom says Dylan still remains friendly, cheerful, and bright.
Day to day, that's really how we take it right now. He's having a good day today. He's pretty strong.
Dylan's mom has started a Facebook page called Fight for Dylan, where you can follow his story.
To sports we go. Kurt Sandoval, what you got?
I think I need to catch up with Dylan this week. That's inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah.
You learn a lot from a 2-year-old. All right, we're going to talk a little college basketball. Do you realize the last time the Irvine basketball program got the automatic bid to the Big Lambada? Wait for it. We'll keep waiting. It's never happened, folks. Tonight they're looking for that pot of gold at the end of a win over the Hawaii Rainbows. That game starts at the Honda Center, 8:30 tonight, so we'll have your complete highlights on Eyewitness News at 11. Check out the crazy ending between Stony Brook and Albany. That kind of reminds me of your fraternity, Jory. As it turns out, they go on an 11-3 run, Albany does, and they're down 2 points. Ray Sanders misses it, but it's tipped out to Peter Hooley. Who is Peter Hooley? 6 weeks ago, he lost his mother horribly to colon cancer. Today, he's the hero as Albany goes on to win it 51-50. Not from New York. As you can tell, Chicago Bulls and the OKC Thunder right here on the Circle 7 tomorrow. Then the Houston Rockets come in against the Clippers. That could be a preview of what they're going to see in the first round. After the game, Michael Cooper and the talented and lovely Lisa Leslie will join Rob Fukuzaki on the Sports Zone. I'll have your interviews from the Clippers locker room after the game. Dodgers hosting the Indians at Camelback Ranch. You never want this game to go to your head. Scoreless in the second inning. Scott Van Slyke opens the scoring with a solo shot. That to the bullpen, his first home run of the spring. Big Blue nursing the 3-2 lead, and what a day for Matt Carson. Tees off for the grand slam, and that one's out to center field. Dodgers roll away with an easy 7-2 win. Angels in a split squad game with the White Sox today. Chicago's up 2-1. The 35-year-old Adam LaRose shows he can still stand and deliver, taking aim at Scottsdale there. Clearly the spring beard working to perfection. Halos mounted a comeback. The homegrown Darby Myers shoots one up the middle. Runners advance without a throw, but the comeback a little short-lived as the White Sox hold on to win 7-6. All right, you running the marathon, it's easy. Water on your neck, water on your pants. It cools you down.
Okay.
So when you go through the aid station tomorrow, 1 goes in, 2 goes on you.
So the water on your neck doesn't make it down to your pants? Like you have to have 2 separate
back of the neck, front of the pants, okay? It will, those firefighters that we saw, they'd be the first, that's how you cool down your body core.
Okay.
Got it.
And by the way, wasn't in a fraternity. I was on the hockey
question
team.
though, back of your neck or
nerdy.
just your head?
Back of the neck.
Okay, all right.
Or you can get a cool rag, put it on the back of your neck.
Thank you. New tonight on
Let's
Eyewitness
move on.
News at 11 on ABC7. I am moving on. A woman goes into labor on the 15 freeway in the Home Pass, and the umbilical cord was wrapped around the baby's neck. The emergency delivery on the side of the road. And a record-setting flight for an eagle, and for the first time, we're getting a bird's-eye view of it. Those stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 newscast. That's Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
Well, Disney's latest remake of a classic fairy tale is set to be a smash hit at the box office this weekend.
But does it live up to the hype? Our George Panacchio reviewed the movie. We'll tell you what he thought after the break.
It looks like Disney's latest movie is turning into a real Cinderella story, at least at the box office. The movie takes the fairy tale world we know so well from the 1950 animated classic and turns it into a live-action spectacle. Entertainment guru George Pinocchio gives us his review.
Where do you live, Mr. Kit?
At the palace. My father's teaching me his trade.
You're an apprentice.
Of a sort.
Cinderella has no idea she's just met the prince, who must soon take a wife, and he's smitten with her. Cinderella tells the tale of a lovely young woman trapped in a not-so-lovely life. Her parents have both passed, and her evil stepmother considers her nothing more than a servant.
Who's this for? Is there someone we've forgotten?
It's my face.
Oh, it seems too much to expect you to prepare breakfast, serve it, and still sit with us. Wouldn't you prefer to eat when all the work is done, Ella? Or should I say Cinderella?
Kate Blanchett is just nasty good as the stepmother, and I'm sure she will truly scare some of the young children in the audience. Lily James is very sweet in the title role, goodness and light in the face of adversity.
I did have it worse, I'm sure. We must simply have courage and be kind. Not for me.
Fans of Game of Thrones should enjoy seeing Richard Madden as the prince, and, no surprise, Helena Bonham Carter is a kick as the fairy godmother.
The magic will only last so long.
The Cinderella sets are pretty spectacular. They easily put you right into this world. The colorful costumes stand out, adding to the visual feast. And all the movie magic you see on screen does not disappoint, including Cinderella's glass slippers, which, when worn, are actually computer-generated images on her feet. The film does delve a little deeper than the animated version, and that's appreciated. It has a more nuanced feel. Plus, there's a lot to look at here, for sure, but let's be real. This movie was not made for someone my age. It's for girls, and that's pretty clear when you watch it. So if that's not you, you may find yourself wandering off a bit as the story plays out. But you'll still have a pretty good time. George Pinocchio, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Prom is just around the corner, and a local foundation is doing what it can to make sure high school students feel beautiful on the big day. The St. Francis Medical Center Foundation is back with its annual prom project. The goal is to provide dresses, suits, shoes, and accessories to hundreds of South Los Angeles area students who otherwise could not afford to attend their prom. The prom dress giveaway will be held again tomorrow. Appointments can also be made during the week. That is fun.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you for joining us on Eyewitness News at 7 here on LA56. LA56 Weekend Theater is next.
And Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com.
Remember, you can get your news 24 hours a day on our ABC7 Facebook page and on Twitter. See you tomorrow night at 7 right here on LA56.
Have a great night.